Anyway, it appears...
Yolu may not have won over the master, but she's still a genius in
Hey, you! Stop working your mouth and work your brain. Focus and start looking over these scribbles.
Vaha and I continued to build secret after secret as the days went by. However, his relationship with Ors hadn't completely ended either. He told me that being with Ors felt like being with a doll. Physically, he may be hers, but his heart was mine alone. And yet, today, Vaha appeared somewhat downtrodden. I wonder what happened overnight. Vaha gathered all the Dakimas and began to propose 4 new rules.
All Dakimas must combine their strength when the Dark Invaders are upon us. All Dakimas must preserve the knowledge they acquire from Ataraxia and guard its secrets. All Dakimas must respect each other's biomes and never enter without permission of their respective overseers. All Dakimas must refrain from developing personal feelings for any other Dakima.
My heart broke at the utterance of the final rule. And yet, with it, I now knew of his true intentions. It was to separate that parasite Ors from his body. For only I am suited to be Vaha's partner. Only I deserve to stand by his side.
What's wrong? Why are you sighing like that?
We're rooting for you as...
Engraved, it wasn't too difficult to bring Vaha to my biome. All it takes is the mention of weapon development to make him follow me anywhere. I wonder if he knows how much his refusal further stokes my flames. Eventually, I revealed to him the dagger I stole from Ors. My love, Vaha. With the Goddess of Darkness's permission, our paradise will be complete. The words etched onto the dagger made it clear. You can't have Ors. She's already in the embrace of her goddess. Thickets blot out the light. Thorns scar everything. Only damp darkness and death reside within them, and yet I am different. I can embrace all the rays of the sun. Let us cultivate a new life together within the sun's embrace. Only I can support you, my son, Vaha.
Whoa! Is this what Sika witnessed and caused him to call Vaha scum? And yet, who knew it was Yolu who tempted Vaha all along?
What on earth? They had all these hormones pent up in their puny bodies, and no place to release them. No wonder things got so fired up. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Love is no more useful than chaff in the wind. I bet Vaha made her cry in the end. Seriously now, why can't we find one useful record here?
I think we'll have better luck in the next area. And yet, this biome is clearly sending out a distress call. I'm sure Yolu would have a clue to defeating that witch somewhere. Eden, what are you doing over there?
Martha, come over here and search this area with me. I think it's a path going to somewhere.
Whoa! Is this what Sika witnessed and caused him to call Vaha scum? And yet, who knew it was Yolu who tempted Vaha all along?
this is quite useful.
Anyways, take a look at this. It's a tale regarding Yolu's final weapon. Looks pretty useful, no? Here, have a look.
After that night, Vaha came rushing back into my arms. To think that I'd feel such joy, welcomed in as someone's light. Sure, there were days when Vaha didn't come, saying he was off seeing ores. But Vaha is our leader, and he's only doing his duty in taking care of us. And yet, I can't help but feel a cloudy gloom fill me. Those are the days when I miss Sika. How he gazed so longingly with those sad eyes of his. I guess I am as attractive a woman as Ors. Suddenly, it dawned on me. An idea for my final weapon. I can't believe I failed to see it for so long. A weapon as beautiful, sharp, and resolute as I. A weapon that can shake up the entire world.
What the... The record ends here? I need to know what she wrote next. That's the important part. Raise a monument beneath the giant tree. Anyways, take a look at this. It's a tale regarding Yolu's final weapon.
After the... Sure, and yes, seek suddenly a weapon.
What the... Anyways, take a look.
I remember what I saw in the lands of Yolunakia. It gave off a sweet scent and sang pleasant melodies. The Olun told me it was due to the flowers it consumed. The name of that flower? Armalilith. Fine horns, a slender waist, and a tiny mouth to hold the flowers. However did it survive with its fragile appearance? And yet, the Olun warned me not to underestimate the creature. For when the long day passes and the short night arrives, it changes form. Docile during the day, yet an attractively powerful being by night. I wanted it. I wanted to grasp it between my own two hands. And yet, I could not hope to catch it. It was that swift. Sometimes, it would shed a small pond of tears it would suddenly fall into, as if it was attempting to take its own life. And yet, when I draw near that pond, only my own reflection stared back at me. The Olun referred to that body of water as Ron's mirror. They called it the incarnation of Tunta, god of the earth himself. But I had no use for gods, so I decided to bestow it a name myself. The scent of the Armalilith, and the mirror of Ron. Yes, that's it! My final weapon shall be called the Amarillos.
Ah, that creature's appearance seems to belie its speed and strength. But why did Yolu, bright as she was, not appear on the final day?
Let me be. This may be my only opportunity to study this. I have a deep connection with Ozeka, So I want to know more about the Olun story. In the Crypt of Resting Thoughts, there were only mentions of sacrifices made to Kazaka and nothing more. But to hear that the Olun existed during a period of peace without the constant threat of death, not to mention in a land where the terrifying golem slumbered, with tree roots as their medium, they were able to keep amicable relations with the golems. Isn't that why the golems reacted and awakened when the Olun were wiped out?
He's gone too deep. Let's just leave him and move on. I mean, being as short as he is, he won't be easy to spot.
I have a deep connection with... This is quite useful to... This is...
He's gone too deep.
We also discovered that the place Eden found earlier was a shortcut. Inside, there was an exchange in fairly good condition. Of course, it's locked by a thread, so we were looking for clues. Yolu usually left very happy records, but these seem different. The slate's name is Crocodile Tears.
One day, Ataraxian suddenly collapsed. Not at the hand of the Dark Invaders, but by the very people we sought to protect. That is what caused our saga, in which we were slowly working toward the completion of our mission to come to an abrupt end with an unidentified outsider as their leader. The people rushed in like a swarm of ants and carried off all of Protokia's resources. After only a few hours, silence befell the place once more. And Vaha returned, his entire body covered in blood. He was no longer the son I idolized. He blamed Sika for telling the outsider of the existence of the stronghold.
Now we know the culprit was actually Dekia in his first life, but I guess the architects never found out.
Sika, who was rebuked by Vaha, rebuked Ors. She defied the Master's lesson of placing one's faith in gods. However, Vaha defended Ors frantically. He knew that her agenda lay with the Goddess of Darkness, and her promise to sacrifice our army of Ator. Then what of our efforts? And our masters? Was that all just sacrifice to your goddess as well? All Ors said was that she never wanted the stronghold to fall. In the end, Sika started to fight back against our leader Vaha. Vaha then chose to defend Ors in order to defend himself. What is this? Then does that mean I need to take Sika's side? I don't want to do that. During this dull debate, Vaha didn't turn to look at me. Not even once. I was taken slightly aback, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I didn't even tear up. Maybe I already knew. I had always had him in my embrace. But that space between my arms was a void to be filled. Ors just kept sobbing, covering her face with both hands. Those hands probably concealed a smile behind them. That revolting.
Wait a minute. The Gatekeeper weapons blueprint that Eden found had a drawing of a crocodile?
So long. I found a shortcut. Of course, we still need a key to enter the next sector, so we likely will need to take the long way around anyway. Try promenading down that path later. Perhaps some intriguing knowledge may present itself along the way. But more importantly, take a look at this Elezra's mark. If she picked up the architects at Protokia, then there wouldn't be a need to go around.
It might seem like a joke, but she isn't the type to waste her time. Not to mention how persistent she's been, actively. What in the world could be in this stronghold? Why keep the Gatekeeper weapons blueprints so well hidden?
We've already got 2 strongholds under our belts. So, let's see. Sebekarak?
Yolunakia, where Lekra, the ecosystem's apex, resides, is a place that living creatures instinctively avoid. Thanks to them, the Olun lived in peace. However, there were still natural enemies. The giant crocodile, in the Olun's root language, Sebekarak. The Olun have to absorb their nutrients from the Lightstones, so the Sebekarak would place a Lightstone on their back to lure them to the water.
Could this be a weapon made with ores in mind? I can't imagine what it would be like to face off against... Ugh.
Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected. Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected. Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected.
Let's see. It says that on the day of the final battle, she happily ate her breakfast. To think she could keep anything down on that day. She's certainly something.
The day of the final battle. I wonder why my feet led me to Vamalkia. It was completely empty. Of course, he'd be the first one out. When I was turning to leave, an imposing weapon caught my eye. It was Lucretia, the same name the goddess calls ores by. Vaha had sculpted this idol of ores, without my knowledge. Since when, perhaps, I could forgive him for this? However, he must pay for wounding my heart. I will not engage. He will have to face them without me. Vaha, may you realize just how desperately you need me.
Oh, Luffy was right. Vaha was stood up, but now that I look at it, Yolu. Ho-ho, she's a greedy one.
This one is mine, that one is mine, you're mine, everyone you love is mine!
On the day of the final battle, where Vaha stood without me, I returned to my stronghold and gathered the Sebakariks in one place. Tears cascading down my cheeks as I grasped out for anything to hold on to. Ultimately, the victor was Ors, our leader in her clutches.
But still, her crush Vaha is out there dying. What in the world did she do with those crocodile weapons?
I remembered what the Olun said about the Sebakarik's traits. When they need to cull their numbers, they sacrifice their lives to their leader. The leader, after devouring his congregation, shed tears that, at a glance, give him the appearance of deep despair. But the cannibalistic leader grows even more vicious. So I decided to lock them away where they could tear each other apart. Fight, rip, crush. Today, I shall select their leader.
Assistant, make sure you're extra prepared. We will have to face whatever weapon was strong enough to come out on top of that bloodbath.
Yolu's sweat and tears went into making this arena. You think you can just throw yourself in there? What kind of a place is this? Let me see if I can find anything.
Oh, is that a Stellar control system? Anyhow, it seems they've mass-produced small Sebakariks and managed them.
Hey, Fuzzball. You better run while you can. Don't you know a bloodthirsty crocodile is on its way?
The records here show that Vaha used Lysandra's power to interfere with the circuits of the small Sebekaric to create an electrical overload within their leader.
The leader's verification device seems to be malfunctioning. Given the situation, it might even be able to use the smaller weapons to recover its power. We discovered something while observing the Olun stone houses made in commemoration of Yolu's visit to Yolunakia. Vaha chose Oz as the one to prove his innocence, but when she just sat there crying in the silence that followed, he pulled out his sword. Are you mad, man? How could I... Did Vaha kill Oz? Is that why Oz's Kive was the only one missing from Protokia? Looks as though Yolu had the same thought. She also wrote, "Are you mad?" Oh, wait, thankfully it seems it wasn't murder. What Vaha's sword pierced was not Oz, but Talabray's door that connects to the outside world.
The argument ended when Vaha dismantled Talabray's door. Not a single word was spoken, and we returned to each of our respective strongholds, overtaken by silence. Within Maha's veil, it felt like time stood still. Not a day went by when I wasn't consumed with the thoughts of less painful ways to end my life. My belly ached in pain, but that pain brought clarity to my thoughts. After a season or two, the food will run out, and I'll starve to death. I could recall those days when I was a starving war orphan, the master handing me a warm bowl of porridge.
They were facing an actual crisis, but somehow they managed to survive, only to be sacrificed to a witch they don't even know.
What Vaha's sword pierced was not Oz, but Talabray's door that connects to the outside world.
Sebekaric production ongoing. Power supply status satisfactory. Sebekaric production ongoing. Dawn operational. Energy circuit operational. Production ongoing. Awaiting the tomorrow that would never come. I had sacrificed my all for only utter emptiness in the end.
Slowly starving to death was more painful than I thought. Did no one else feel this way?
The stronghold merely steeped in its silence. I followed my feet to the vestige of Talibray's door in Protokia. Only if there were some black stones, it could be restored. Wait a minute. Perhaps light stones were the answer. If only for a moment. This is it. I think we can escape. We cannot escape. The people didn't just rob Protokia of its black stones. They took everything. Darkened Dawn, operational. Energy circuit, operational. Dawn, operational. Energy circuit, operational. Darkened Dawn, operational. Energy circuit, operational. Energy circuit, Darkened Dawn, operational. Energy circuit, operational. Darkened Dawn. It took 3 minutes of thought to make up my mind. I will go to the outside world, alone. It's only fair.
Assistant, how could you just abandon your biggest cheerleader? Don't be selfish like Yolu. Let's look at it together.
Outside, a festival was underway, as if to mock our fall. After eating my fill, I started to tune in to the chatter of people around me. They said a certain genius has successfully turned the tables on the Dark Invaders, possessing them instead. Genius? Please! It's just the outsider who stole Master's documents. The few who succeeded at the task were called the Adana. The Adana enlisted the Dark Invaders as partners, using that power to restore the world that they took from them. And they used the Lightstones they stole from me to seal all the remaining Dark Invaders within Histra. While we were trapped, we were just waiting to die. To suddenly find myself at a festival, I felt truly out of place. In the end, all I could do was to return back to Ataraxian. Sika, vile, incompetent, and origin of all our problems, was right. Ataraxian will forever be known as the stronghold of sinners, and I shall forever remain silent about the land of Adana.
doesn't that mean she just came full circle? Now, that's fine and all, but everyone, take a look at this. I've happened upon a magnificent discovery. The reason why Elezra remained here to thwart us at every turn. Now, this Sor Magia. Give it a good whack. And there. All the tales of what transpired between the reset Dekia and Yolu.
My dear Yolu, why are you not yet asleep? You must leave for Yolanakia tomorrow.
Dekia, reset and void of all memories, came looking for me. Even though I knew why. I asked why I had to go.
For the future. I've told you this before. If the Dark Invaders were to attack the Stronghold, we must have the Lightstones in our possession. Return safely. Within your paradise, the future coordinates will be waiting.
I have no need of them. You know nothing, you fragmented consciousness! And the future you planned for us? It failed. It failed.
My delicate Yolu. Why? Are you shedding tears? Slowly explain to me.
You can't understand! I can't explain it! Why? You even prophesized about the Dark Invaders! Why couldn't you foretell our future? Everything is your fault! You left me in charge of a future I couldn't even grasp! And all I did was wander around, trying to fill that void! You said I was the epicenter of the coming future! If I had everything, this wouldn't have happened.
It is our path.
Oh? Yeah? Alright. She's putting all this on their master?
What's important isn't the story, but the coordinates. The Black Spirit Stronghold's coordinates are there in their paradise.
Ah, why didn't I think of that? The final destination of that witch. Let's get moving. We need to get the coordinates. You just wait and see, witch. We will chase you to the end of the world.
Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected. Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected.
Is this the cradle of the final weapon?
I've already seen this. Twice. You guys have no idea how well my assistant fights.
The final weapon, Amarillos, is nowhere to be seen.
But what is that? That's got to be the heart of creation from the Tunta myths.
Elezra!
Yes, you shall take responsibility.
Hey, Granny Pants. Are you surprised we made it here? Now, where do you think you're going? I'll follow you to the moon and the sky above if I have to.
Of course you're here, Elezra. Huh? Laufey, no way! Is it your first time seeing Elezra? Put that parchment away!
What are you talking about? I was just trying to take notes on what that witch is stepping on.
Chattering away like little birds in my presence. I'm a tad disappointed. You weren't like this on our last little adventure. If I knew destiny would keep bringing us together like this, I would have crushed you between my fingers. The world is full of Surprises, indeed. By the looks of this stronghold, it wasn't the work of the Dark Invaders. The destruction of Ataraxian, the bastion of humanity, was wrought by human hands. But the downfall of Ataraxian ultimately brought salvation to this world. Who does humanity have most to thank for that?
How could we know that? But we know for a fact it is not you.
If only the 4 architects had stuck it out together, and if only Dekia had reawakened as planned, could Yolu have really defeated their nemesis? Her fate, could it have been to storm the stronghold of the Dark Invaders?
We weren't there. We aren't as ancient as certain witches in the room. You stop your chattering. Where are all the architects? You think we'd let you sacrifice the architects and watch as you activate the heart of Artemagia?
I don't know why you would think that of me. All I need is one person.
What? One? Is your tongue just flapping around behind that smile? You're lying through your teeth.
Little one, I've not spoken a lie since the day I was born. I've only come to find the coordinates, the Dark Invaders that Dekia left to Yolu. That's right, the Black Spirit stronghold. That's indeed my target.
What? Why there? Wait, hey, you're not really thinking about using the stronghold as a base to unleash the army of Ator, and then the 3 days of darkness again?
I honestly didn't think that far, but sounds like an interesting plan. Tell me you're not curious. That voice you have, all day in your head without end. Where is it coming from? How much stronger will it grow? Never mind. I shall take my leave. Thanks to somebody, my timeline's been accelerated. Yolu's last weapon, Amarillos, has been aimlessly pacing for a long time, unable to fulfill its desires. I'll leave it under your care now. I hope that you can give her Masterpiece, this ancient weapon and a lonely soul, all the dearest love she deserves. Although its presence brought chaos to the stronghold, it was the catalyst that incited the fall from salvation. As you saw from the past records of the stronghold, you must be wary of being enticed by the Amarillos. That is, if you want to keep the worthless entourage you dragged along from becoming her puppets. If you survive this Valley of Desire, perhaps I'll see you again at the coordinates. Farewell.
No! Has she vanished? Again? Ugh, she always has to have the last word. All right, assistant. You got this, right? We've got a lot of information this time.
Damage restoration complete. Last weapon invaders detected. Beginning Amarillos evolution. radiation. Critical damage detected. Incubation rate declining.
What? Activate Tuntaros immediately! I can't believe my masterpiece! Tuntaros has been destroyed!
Reassembly complete. Activate ultimate weapon Amarillos.
I admire your persistence, but it ends now. Activate the artifact device.
Can you tell how wildly we were cheering you on? You know what? There's something even more disheartening. That old prune, I don't think she was lying. Laufey found something called the Ataraxian Repair Manual. Huh. Laufey? Where have you gone now?
Laufey is over there. He seemed very impressed at the sight of the Amarillos. He said he wanted to investigate further and just took off. That man, so engrossed with relics of the past, he hasn't even noticed how much you've grown.
You were about to say, it feels like just yesterday you were whipping wolves outside the ancient chamber. You're the one stuck in the past.
Quiet, both of you! I'm dying to see these coordinates. Assistant, go on up and get Laufey.
Strange, it makes no sense. Weapons cannot feel fear of death. Oh, yes, great work. Say, there's something odd that I noticed while watching you fight. Do you remember the final weapon, Amarillos? Well, it just bolted. You went to town on it, smashing it to smithereens. Could you not feel it shaking madly in its final moments? And even at its wit's end, it fled like a bat out of hell. There is no other weapon like it in the world. Weapons shouldn't be capable of fearing death. Look here, they're generally all designed like this. Ah, wait. I feel an unusual pulse here. Oh, see, just now, it's as if it's using all its might to take a final breath. although it's buried within a labyrinth of ancient characters. I shall get to the bottom of this mystery no matter what it takes. Let's...
Everyone works so hard, I'll hold off on the scolding. There is something called the Ataraxian Repair Manual within the Soul Magia.
Not long after we returned to Ataraxian, we were gathered in front of a dust-laden protokia. Ors was as silent as the goddess of darkness in her stronghold. Sika muttered to himself incessantly, nodding his head. It sounds like my name, but I lacked the strength to respond. Regardless, Vaha had something to say.
At this rate, we'll starve to death, or we'll eat each other alive. Let us keep our dignity. We get to choose how it ends for us. Let's all get some rest inside the Clive. A long and timeless sleep, as the Master once did. But lest we become like our Master, though he tried his very best. Let us free ourselves from this preordained destiny to some unknown vista far from here. Someone in the future will awaken us. Perhaps that person may even need our help. Of course. It's also my first time creating something like this. Though it may fail, anything is better than this.
He looked into Orz's eyes as he continued to speak. And nobody stood to oppose him. To have the choice to face death without pain, this option was one that intrigued us.
Wait, does this mean the shattered kives of the architects in Protokia weren't Elezra's doing, but evidence of failure? No, it cannot be!
But Orz's biome was immaculately intact. That means if Orz's kive was the only one that was successful...
I see. Elezra said she only needed one earlier. It could be that she was referring to Orz.
Didn't it say, no consciousness to play? What could the failure of the Kive imply? Loss of consciousness. But Vaha would have done everything he could to prevent the worst outcome.
Regardless, let's check Yolu's last location before Kivization. We can use the clues that Elezra was after to find her.
Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected. Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected. Attempt to access saved data detected.
Kivization, without the promise of a future, was the only viable thing to do. Until the day that someone finds the stronghold. For the first and last time, I finally found my paradise. The place where the Master left the coordinates that lead to the stronghold of the Dark Invaders. My mission ended before it could even begin. Shall I have a look at how far my mission would have taken me? Vamalkia, North, Ankar, Wall of Giants, the Lake of Desolation, the Mountain of Crimson Ash, Alya Eli.
I'll take the coordinates to the Black Spirit's epicenter. I was going to share it, but it seems I can be rather fickle. I am curious to know how strong you've become, but I will direct you to a new coordinate that won't disappoint. The final Gladios in Ataraxian. Something that the 4 architects couldn't even open. You will find the arena within Orzekia, the heart of immortality. Oh, you'd best hurry, or the coordinates will disappear. Do try your best not to wander astray this time. You'll need to be well rested, if you know what I mean.
What? Are you kidding me? She said she doesn't lie! She snatched the coordinates right out from under our noses!
Looks like we're out of options now. The only option is to face her in the final Gladius.
Who would have thought that we lived to see the day that Alezra was somewhat concerned for our well-being? You sure encounter a lot of strange events in life.
Aiden, now is not the time to muse about... Please don't come with us next time. You're anything but helpful.
Now, stop fighting! Look on the bright side! Instead of saving 4, we now only have 1 person to save. Could it have been Oz? This hunk of machine did spit out Orzekia, the forest which conceived the night. Assistant, the last stronghold has opened. We just gotta handle it face to face. I don't want to get crushed by an army of a Tor. I plan...
Never returned to Ataraxian. I could have left it in the past, started anew, unable to even end my own life. Why would I? Why is this happening? Was even today I run.
Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected.
I should have been unable to. Why even today?
Attempt to act. To gauge Dark Invader's wavelength, varying coefficient. Attempt to access saved data detected. Next command, undetected. Unable to gauge Dark Invader's wavelength, varying coefficient.
Highness Ataraxian's last biome is finally revealing itself, marking the beginning of another great expedition to recognize the Night of Patrons.
of tower operations stopped. Starting ignition recovery process. Stellar Gear detected. Attempting to repair. Damage to Stellar Gear detected. Dark invaders cannot escape the sun. Dark invaders cannot escape the sun. cannot escape the sun. Dark invaders. Damage to Stellar Gear detected. Attempting to repair. Damage. Dark invaders cannot escape the sun. Dark invaders cannot escape the sun. invaders cannot escape the sun. Dark invaders cannot escape the sun. Dark invaders cannot escape the Dark invaders cannot escape the sun. Dark invaders.
Ator production ongoing. Power supply status satisfactory.